Hello friends, this is Durga from ITVersity. We are glad to announce a training by our partner company called as ByteIQ. So Arya will actually walk you through the agenda and also share the details. So this program is primarily on data science, AI, ML. Once Arya go through the details, if you have any questions, we can take those questions as part of the Q&A at the later point in time. Also, if you have any questions while the meeting is going on, you can post those questions in the chat. I will be the host and I will take care of filtering those questions and sharing it with Arya. Those who are joining in YouTube, guys, you also feel free to ask any questions. I will take those questions to Arya, and then we will have follow up. We'll follow up with you to join a WhatsApp group, and we will be conducting a live workshop also. Means when I say we, ByteIQ team will conduct a live workshop where you will be learning something, and also you will understand the quality of the training. To get the invitation for that, you have to join our WhatsApp group, and we can interact over WhatsApp if there are any questions to get clarified. And then we will have a early bird price. If you want to leverage that early bird price and pay upfront, feel free to do so. We will take care of all those things as part of follow up once we conduct the workshop. So this Sunday and next Sunday is primarily the duplication. So we'll be walking you through the agenda of this of the whole course, which is a live course, and then we will invite you to WhatsApp, and we will actually conduct a 2 to 3 hour live workshop where you will be learning few things, and then we'll start enrolling the people. Okay. So that being said, I will hand it over to Arya. He will walk you through about the details of this program, and then if you have any questions, we can take as part of the Q&A. Arya, you can take it over.
Thank you, Durga. So thanks everyone for joining the session. Good morning to people who are joining from international locations, primarily US, I know, and good evening to people who have joined from India. So we are announcing our second batch with ITVersity. Currently, we are running one batch where we are teaching students data science and innovation with some strong feedback which we got. When I say strong, it's all positive, strong feedback we have got from the batch. Now we feel that we should again reach out to our students communities and see whether students are interested in considering the next batch which we are planning to start in the month of July. So having said that, I will brief about what ByteIQ is before we get into the data science value chain, and then we'll talk about the program overview, the course structure, and the kind of experience which you guys are going to get if you are associated with ByteIQ and ITVersity. It's much beyond training, so which we want to share with you guys. And also we'll talk about the product development, which we are planning to engage the batch at the end of the training program, because our theory has always been around innovation, data innovation. So the last project or the product which we are going to develop, it will be a very unique value proposition to some industry. So we want to develop that product with the batch. In the previous batch, we have one more product which the batch is supposed to start working on. But for this batch, we have a new product. With that, let me just sift to what ByteIQ is all about. ByteIQ was formed a year back. I can take the credit of bringing data innovation as an offering to the market. We consider ourselves as the first data innovation company in the world with an aim to build innovation ecosystem in the community which we are part of. So that translates into multiple things, which I will be talking about. In today's world, we are associated with various organizations in terms of data innovation. In some places, we are working with companies providing data innovation as a service, where we are trying to uncover what is there in their data which has not been harnessed so far, and how we can bring those unharnessed part of the data, conceptualize some nice solution, a product, and give it a shape of intellectual property for the company. So, and then that is on one hand. On the other hand, we are working with the students community to see how we can make them the next data innovators in our corporate world. So that's where we have brought in a lot of interesting training programs. So currently we are associated with a bunch of companies. We have put a list of few companies here, but it's beyond the list of 9 which I'm showing here. So at a high level, we want to be considered as one of the most data innovative company in the country. And when I say that, I need to measure myself. When how do I know that I have become one of the most innovative companies? So that's when we came out with our 6 major metrics which we want to focus on. The first one is intellectual property. We are of the opinion that if in order to become a data innovation company, we need to focus a lot on intellectual property. When I say intellectual property, it can be patent, it can be trademark, or it can be copyright. So we have some ambitious goal around number of IPs we want to generate as a company. So that's one of the goals we are striving to achieve. Second is global products. As I told, we are a data innovation company where we are engaged with various companies in their data innovation exercises, where we propose data innovation as a new thing for them and then help them to uncover the real value in the data using data innovation. So in the process, what we do is that we come out with nice interesting solutions. We give it a shape of product, and those become first of its kind in that, not only in that company, in that industry. So all those products will be new products for the industry. That way we have an opportunity to go for intellectual property. So intellectual property and global products go together. Third one is around thought leadership. This is where we spend time with various companies, big companies, whether it's KPMG or it's Malaysia Airport or it's Jet2, an airlines company. We talk to their management and try to promote the culture of innovation, data innovation, because it's a new theory which we are trying to promote in various organizations. So the onus is on us to create that kind of awareness, make them see the value in data innovation. So that is also something we track, how much thought leadership we are adding to various organizations. Fourth one is innovation platform. This is where we want to be the enabler of various innovations which are happening in various places. We want to build platforms so that we are bringing those innovations and getting the attention of right companies and right people, so that innovation, all the innovations happening around us get to see the day of the light. Fifth one is next generation talent. This is where we have this training program in place. We realize that in order to build that innovation ecosystem around us, we need to have innovators around us. It cannot be that just ByteIQ, a small company doing innovation. We want people around us to be innovative. So that's where we thought, let's curate some interesting programs which will make our next generation talent more innovative. Data science and innovation. It's a 3 to 4 months of program, which is the first program which we have rolled out. Apart from that, we have rolled out a couple of other interesting programs. Recently, we launched a data innovation and AI/ML program for school kids, where we are targeting kids from class 6 onwards. We are trying to show them what is the power of data, because these are the kids who are going to be the future talent of our society or of our world. So from at an early stage, we want to make them make them realize the power of technology, power of ML, AI, power of data. So that is an interesting program, Next Orbit, which we have started. Currently, we are teaching. And you won't believe, when we started, we thought whether kids will be able to understand or not. To our utter surprise, we see students, kids as young as 8 years old are able to grasp Python. I have one 8 years old kid in my batch who is able to write Python code. So that's so interesting thing we are doing. Apart from these two, we have also recently launched a pure play data innovation program. It's a program for working executives. It's 30-40 hours program meant only for executives. And last is culture building. This is around how much awareness we are creating around us in various communities, whether it's teachers, doctors, government officials, because everywhere things are changing. Everyone is dealing with more data in today's world. So in order to do their primary job also, they need to have basic data analytics skills. So that is what we are promoting in various communities. We did a lot of sessions with teachers, with working professionals in government organizations. We are letting them know what they are going to face in next couple of years. So these are the 6 things we are striving to achieve as a data innovation company. So moving to the next slide, this is the main thing about our today's session, the data science value chain. I think a lot of you guys are from data engineering background. So this is basically the data science value chain. As we move up the chain, we see some strategic value getting delivered. When we do any kind of data science project, it typically starts with sourcing of data. I think all of you people from data science, data engineering background can easily relate to. So when we are trying to perform some experiment, let's say we worked with business, we did data innovation, and we came out with nice, interesting idea. And to execute that idea, we need data science tools and techniques to be used, a machine learning model to be created or built, some descriptive analytics to be performed. So that is what we aim to achieve. But in order to get there, we start with sourcing of data. So when I say sourcing, we have to understand where the data is in the organization. Yeah, I have a nice experiment in my mind, which I have put it on paper. Management believes in that experiment. They have given a go ahead to me. But the main thing is where the data. Where is the data? So I need to understand, explore where the data is, who is the data steward. The same data can be present in multiple places. I need to know what is the source of truth with respect to that data. I need to uncover that source of truth and then get the data in. And during sourcing of data, metadata plays a significant role. Being a new person for that particular data element or that data set, I may not have any view of what exactly the values are, what is the meaning of those values. So metadata plays a significant role. So data sourcing is a key step. A lot of data scientists may not understand that, but we with our experience, we realize that's like one of the most important steps towards success of any data science experiment. So once the data has been sourced from the right place in right format, with all the right understanding, now it is about ingesting the data into analytics infrastructure. Okay, when I say this, the data engineering work at the bottom, I'm not talking about the hardcore data engineering work which you guys might be doing. As part of data science life cycle also, we need to do some bit of data engineering. I'm talking of that data engineering. So once data has been sourced, we ingest the data into the analytics infrastructure, which is basically an experiment infrastructure. Could be smaller in size because right now we don't know whether our experiment will succeed or fail. Okay, so that's the second step. And once the data is ingested, it's about exploring the data. What is there in the data, doing some cleaning of data, identifying outliers and anomalies, applying business rules to understand the data better, doing some exploratory data analysis. All those things will happen in the third layer. Fourth layer is all about storytelling. This is where we bring our innovative concept of entity, which is part of our data innovation framework, which we apply in various organizations. With respect to any experiment, we realize that there is always an entity which is associated. So if you give me any data, I try to find what are the key entities in that data. Because at the end of the day, whatever analytics we are doing is always with respect to an entity. When I say entity, it could be a living object, it could be an employee, it could be a customer, it could be a supplier, it could be manager, okay, or it could be also a process, like invoicing is a process. It could be incident management as a process. So the main point here is to uncover those entities which are there in the data. As part of the experiment, before starting the experiment, we would have identified those entities. So this step is actually coming after we have done the initial feasibility analysis, initial entity identification. All those things have been done in the initial phase. That's when we decided to go for the experiment. So in the storytelling layer, what we are trying to build is, we are trying to build a 360-degree view with respect to that entity. If it is supplier as an entity, which I'm focusing on as part of this experiment, then all the aspects of the suppliers I'm trying to bring in into one platform. That's like the entity 360 I'm building. And once the entity 360 is built, then I can build all the nice stories around the entity. Okay, so that's the fourth layer. So if I look at layer, bottom two layer, those are considered as data engineering layer. Second two layer are considered as data analytics. I think you guys might have heard of roles where the name or the role is for data analyst, not for data scientist. So typically the expectation from a data analyst is to do the job of exploring the data and doing better storytelling. Obviously, data engineering will be associated with it. It's not like hardcore engineering, data engineering, but some bit of data engineering they need to know. Okay, and once this four layers are done, then the data and the analytics which have been created in the process are ready for the next higher level of value and insight which we want to derive. That's the predictive layer. So this is where the machine learning model, time series forecast will come into the picture. Okay, and once the model has been tested, model is working well, the accuracy is really good. Now it is about the cognitive analytics. how can we ensure that there is no human intervention? If model is able to predict something, can a machine take the action on the predicted value instead of human interfering? In a lot of scenarios, we see that human is always interfering. Once the model has given some output, human will interpret the output and take the decision. So how to get rid of that? How to make machine uh, take decision like human? So that's where the cognitive analytics come into picture. So those two layers at the top are considered as hardcore data science layer. But if you ask me, if I have to look at my past experience and the projects we have implemented, all the three layers have got equal importance. Obviously business will see higher value in the last year because that is what is going to drive the decision, but we cannot deny the significance of data analytics and data engineering layer. Okay, any question? Durga, do you have any question before I
Yeah,
move?
it's time for us to pause and answer some of the questions. There is a question from Sanjay, but that question should be answered at the end.
Okay,
If anyone have any questions at this juncture, let us know. We'll take few questions and then we'll take it further.
no other question as of now?
Let's wait. Let's
Okay.
wait for 10-15 seconds and see if anyone. You guys can unmute yourself and ask the questions. Even we will be able to take questions from YouTube. Those who are joining from YouTube, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Mohammed, do you have any question? I have seen you have unmuted yourself.
Yes, I was thinking about the second layer, and I know it was told that the data engineering that takes place there is not regular hardcore data engineering. So I want to know, why is that? Is it because the volume of data is a little bit small, so we're not using big data engineering techniques, or why is it?
Yeah, so at this stage we are just experimenting with an idea. So data science is all about innovation, creativity, and identifying experiments to be performed for the business. So when we are doing an experiment, we normally don't get a buy-in from management to do a full scale data engineering work. Okay, we want to get data in a smaller form, a smaller set of data, take the data, clean the data, analyze the data, apply the predictive model or build a predictive model on top of the data, and then try to understand whether your experiment is really working or it's failing. If your experiment is working, now your management is convinced that, yeah, this is what they want to run in production. That's when data science team will work closely with the core data engineering team to build that full scale data,
Yeah,
whether it's big data.
I will give few real world examples, right? So in companies like Amazon, Netflix, etc., hardly 2 to 3% of models which are derived by data scientists will get to the next level if they feel they are right. There will be a lot of regression happening around the models, and once a model is finalized, once they want to take it to the next level, then they will plan for the productionizing it. They will identify all the key sources for that model, and there they will closely work with the data engineering teams if they have to get data from multiple sources depending upon the complexity of the data engineering layer. And then a broader team will work for a few weeks to few months to get all the data, and they will work on the productionizing of the model. So what Arya is highlighting as part of data engineering in this slide is, while building those prototype models, there can be 30 models. It can be 30 different models or few models, which there might be a lot of regression happening to identify the predictability and all. And then once they finalize a particular model with particular attributes will work fine, then they will go for full-blown data engineering. They will try to productionize that model. So here, to begin with, you don't need to work with actual data from all different sources. They will get the sample. Still, that sample might have some anomalies in the data, or the data might not be completely clean. In that case, the data scientists or whoever, or even data analytics for descriptive reports, they have to do some data cleansing before they provide reports to see if the reports are getting required insights. or if it is a AML stuff, they will apply those algorithms on top of that data. If they're able to derive some insights from that data, then they will take to the next level. So that's the typical life cycle of a data science project from beginning to the end, which is to productionize and implement in real time.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it definitely does. And basically, it's due to the fact that they don't want to invest a lot of resources, so they want to experiment. If it's validated, then they will go to full-scale data engineering and work on the entire data set. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That is correct. When you say resources, it's not only about the infrastructure, but also the overall cost.
Yeah.
So if they first work on the data engineering, get all the data, and then start experimenting, that experimenting time itself will be delayed. And also there might be a scenario where a lot of money got burnt without any desired outcome.
Hi Durga, this is Veera. I have a question on data analytics.
Yeah.
What I understood, data engineering or data science are coming up more from some of the technology, but on the data analytics, apart from some of the technology stack there, but business rules or maybe domain experts plays a major role. Is my understanding correct, or will some of the tools will still help the data analyst to perform the job?
So let me take this question, Arya, before you chime in. So in this case, whatever items that are highlighted by Arya with respect to storytelling and exploration is typically done in BI layer. In some cases, they might use R or some other standard programming language to quickly take care of exploring the data and storytelling. Even we can leverage traditional BI tools such as Tableau, ClickView, etc. And even Tableau, ClickView have the capabilities to cleanse the data, apply business rules, prepare the data up to an extent. So it all depends upon the nature of the data set. If it can be ported into a BI tool and explore and tell the stories, we can use BI tools. If not, in some cases, we can even use tools like R or Python using the Matplotlib or whatever visualization frameworks we have as part of the Python. Similarly, R also have visualization frameworks. Using those, this part is taken care. Yeah, Arya can add more information to it.
Okay, so data analytics is all about uncovering what is there in the data. Basically, you are exploring the data to know what all data elements are there in the data set which you have obtained, whether those are the data elements which will be of help for your final experiment you want to perform. And in a lot of cases, what happens is, as Durga pointed out a few minutes back, that the model may not give you the right accuracy. So you may have a nice idea in place. Because of that, you started this experiment and you created a predictive model. But if accuracy of the model is not great, then your entire effort will go down the drain. Okay, so in order to prevent those kind of situations from arising, first of all, to get to the model level also, you need to have a solid data analytics layer, because on top of data analytics layer only you can build model. Once you have collected all the data from all the places, you have that entity 360 view, then only your model is actually looking at all the data parameters or all the features with respect to that entity to come out with a predictive model. Let's assume that it failed. The model accuracy is not good. Business is not ready to onboard that kind of model. What you would have done in the process is you have created an entity 360, a nice storytelling layer, okay, which will be of value to the business, irrespective of model failure. If I have to take one example, let's say I'm building an experiment where I want to predict whether a particular retail outlet, I will take the recent example which we worked on as part of data innovation exercise, where we were doing data innovation on Malaysia airport data. Okay, so one of the entity which we focused or we decided to focus on was retail outlets which are present in the airport. Okay, and one of the model which we thought of building is, can we build a model which can tell whether a particular retail outlet will be a high survivor or not. So we are getting a lot of applications for a space which is available to be rented out. Now, out of so many applications which I have got, how do I select? I might randomly select, which may not be right for my business. But if I have a predictive model which is looking at past data and can tell me with some level of accuracy that the application which you have got now has got low survival rate. If you give to this particular retail outlet, a retail company, then this retail company cannot survive beyond 1 year, which I don't want. I want someone to stay in the airport for a longer time so that I'm making money out of that relationship. So I will not go for that. The second application which I receive, the model is saying that this guy will stay for around 1 to 3 years. And third one, which I got with the model is saying this guy will definitely stay beyond 5 years. So I may prefer, I will obviously prefer the third one, but it will also give a probability. Okay, if that probability is low, the probability is 70%, 60%, or 50%. 50% is like is tossing a coin. Okay, so with that kind of accuracy, I will not go for the productionization of the model. I cannot rely on the model. Okay, after all the experiment, if I see that model is not working, all my efforts might go down the drain. Instead of, yeah, that will go down the drain. Sorry, the model will go down the drain. But in the process, if I have created a retail 360, so if I click a particular retail unit in my platform, I get a complete view of that retail unit. I know what is this, what are the sales patterns with respect to that retail outlet. I understand when it was onboarded, who is the relationship manager with respect to that sales unit, what is the current experience level of the manager who is managing that relationship. Is he a new guy or is he a tenured guy in the organization? So all the information with respect to the retail outlet I have with me. So even if I'm unable to use model, I can use this storytelling for various decision making. So that's why data analytics becomes so important. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Arya.
Okay. So if there is no more question, can we move? Durga, any other question you see in the window?
No,
I-
yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Durga. I have one question. In fact, a couple of them. So one thing is we have talked about these data engineering part. So there is a lot of time that is spent in building up these ETL pipelines, ensuring that the data is cleansed, ensuring that the data is in format that is good enough to be used for model development.
Yeah.
But often we realize that during the model development, there are not all the features that we wanted to extract are actually present. So there is a lot of iterations that are being done in the data engineering and the model development.
Yeah.
So in that case, you could actually end up. I mean, how do you handle these kind of situations? Because there will be a lot of time that will be spent in. Okay, you give some data, then the model is developed. You develop on some features. You realize, okay, these are not the features that you wanted.
Yeah.
And also at the other time, you need a lot of domain knowledge to build those models. You need to have a lot of domain knowledge to know what data that you need. So how do you handle those situations in real time scenarios?
Okay.
So let me first add few things, then you can take over, Arya. So Hemant, so when it comes to most of the successful data scientists who are actually making the difference in the world, let me highlight some of the key characteristics of their profiles. Okay, so a successful data scientist have to have three skills. The first one is the mathematical statistics, probability, all those skills, and also they need to have the patience which a scientist need to have. That's why it is called as data scientist. It's more of a R&D role. So the first one is the mathematical skills. The second one is domain, as you have highlighted, and the third one is technology. And of all the three, technology is least important. The most important one is mathematical skills, and then domain knowledge. In some cases, in some of the companies, the core data scientists might not even know too much of technology except for programming using R, Python, etc. They might not even know how he can actually develop applications using Spark or big data related stuff. They might not even know, but definitely they have to know R or Python. Even if they don't know that, still if they can articulate the things with a good developer and they can collaborate, still they can take care of the problem statement and they can come up with the solution. So three skills are important. The first one is mathematical and statistical skills. Second one is domain knowledge, and the third one is technology. And technology is less important compared to other two. So unless you have these three, you might be working more of a working as more of a engineer role. So there are several roles in the industry apart from data scientist. One is ML engineer. A lot of these job titles are coming up. ML engineer. I started seeing some title called as plumber, data plumber or something. For some companies, they have that role of plumber also. So new type of job titles are coming, and those are purely a bit technical roles. But if you are aiming to be a data scientist, then yes, domain knowledge plays a key role. Otherwise, the data engineer or whatever engineer has to collaborate with the data science team and take care of the implementation. Yeah, Arya can add more to that. And
Yeah.
Yeah, you have identified, yes, the domain knowledge is very important. If you want to get into those roles, you need to pick up the domain skills, then only you will be able to excel.
Yeah. So couple of things also, as a data scientist, which you can develop over a period of time. Domain knowledge is definitely, that is something which will come with time. But in big organizations and in good big data science team, and particularly mature data science team, they have started creating roles like data translators. So these are the guys who are like bridge between data science team and the business executives. Okay, so these guys understand business really well. They are deep into the business also. They're not like business guys, but yeah, they have got a lot of depth around the business knowledge. At the same time, they understand data science tools, techniques, ML, everything. They may not be hands-on, but they can just take a business problem, break it down to features which are supposed to be there in the model, and they can go back and talk to the business in their terms. They can translate the data science solution into a simple solution, which, or a simple explainable solution which business can easily relate to. So they are playing a significant role in a lot of organizations of late. The second thing is, as a data scientist, over time you need to build few frameworks which will help you. Irrespective of the domain, you can use those frameworks to uncover all the features that can come handy for your model development. Okay, I will talk about one framework which we use. I spoke about the entity, and the retail unit is the one which I gave the example of. We have a framework around entity lifecycle management. So whenever we are building a predictive model, it will be always around some entity. It is like in this case, retail outlet. It could be customer, it could be employee. If it is attrition, it could be employee. You are trying to predict who the next employee is, who is going to leave, or who the next customer is, who is going to default. So always it is around entity. So that's why I keep stressing on the entity concept. Now, when I'm creating, or I have identified, or I have discovered an entity, then I need to understand what is the entity life cycle in the organization. Each entity will have a life cycle. It will get onboarded in the organization one day. So during onboarding, a lot of data elements will get created. It will move to phase next phase where it is doing business. If I take the example of retail, during onboarding, the airport will give them space, the space size. Relationship manager will be assigned. Okay, a rent will be agreed upon. Some terms and conditions will be there. Those are the information which organization is capturing at the onboarding stage. In next phase, once the retail unit is in, it started doing business. So you will have sales numbers for that entity. Okay, you will have customer footfall. You will have top selling products. Okay, those are new data sets or data which is getting generated. The third phase, once the retail unit has started operating for a couple of months, you start to see feedback coming with respect to that retail outlet. Okay, positive, negative. Customers will start giving feedback in the open, in social media, or in the app which the airport has extended to customer to collect feedback. So that is one set of data. Then there will be a rental behavior. Every month, the retail unit has to pay rent to the airport. So what is the rental behavior? Then more data gets generated. Is it paying on time? Is it delaying? How much is the delay? Is delay going up over time? Okay, then there will be a phase where the contract will get renewed. Okay, the rent will get reset. It will be increased by 5%, 10%. It may go for space upgrade. It may go for business upgrade, whatnot. And then there could be a phase where the retail outlet may decide, no, I don't want to do business. It is not more beneficial for me. Let me leave the airport. So it may leave also. So in all these phases data is getting generated. So when you are thinking like a data scientist or you are a data scientist, you have to think about the entity lifecycle, what all data are getting generated in its lifecycle, and get it validated with business. It's not like just you create the entity lifecycle, you go to business and validate. Is it that is it what the entire lifecycle is, or there are any other phases which are of significance which I don't have in the lifecycle? Capture all the phases of life cycle. Once you have captured the life cycle, then you have in fact everything with respect to entity in one framework. So no feature is missing. Now when you have all the features, then you don't have to go, you don't have to do a lot of back and forth. The problem with a lot of ML effort is a lot of back and forth happens because they go with some specific set of features. They believe that these are the features which is enough to build my model. When accuracy is not great, is not good, they go back to the business and talk, okay, can I look at some other features? Business will give them some input. Again, they go back to the data engineering team and ask, can you include this field which was not there in the first phase? So to cut all those unnecessary back and forth, build your own framework. Entity lifecycle is one such framework. Making sense?
Yes,
Let's
thanks, Arya. Thanks,
Okay.
Durga. There was a lot of detailed explanation. Can I ask one more question based on the answer?
no, let's move on. So let's go to
Let's
the
cover,
cultural
and at the end,
topics.
I think we can.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, sorry. So this is the program which we are offering. It's around 120 hours of training plus product journey. I will talk about product. We believe in product. We don't talk about analytics projects or data science projects, because as a company, as I told, we are a data innovation company, and we want our students to have product mindset, not delivery mindset. Delivery mindset is very different from product mindset. In delivery mindset, you just expect your business or your stakeholders to give you requirements. You just create the solution based on the requirements. You tick mark all the requirements you have completed and hand it over to the customer, and you ensure that it is tested. There are no major flaws, and once in a while you do some improvements or enhancement based on customer feedback. Product mindset is different. You have to put customer at the center and think about the customer. Okay, it's no more about someone giving you requirements. You are creating requirements yourself by understanding, by putting yourself in customer shoes. Okay, and when you create, when you are wearing the product manager hat, you are thinking of innovative metrics. You are thinking of innovative features, because as a product guy, you have to compete with other products in the market. You know that if you roll out a product today, tomorrow there will be more competitive products in the market. How you can beat your competition? So that's why you have to be always creative, innovative. You have to think, what is that extra thing I can give? What is that new thing I can give? So that is the mindset. So we want our students coming out of this program to have that product mindset. That is where intellectual property comes. When you are building a product with so many innovative features, you obviously you need to protect your product. Otherwise tomorrow those things will be stolen, those features will be stolen, and your competition will move ahead. So how do you protect? So you need to understand what is IP, what is intellectual property, what are intellectual property rights, how do I protect my product, how do I move ahead in the race? So all those thought process we want our students to have by the end of the program, when they would have conceptualized or they would have built a product. So that's why I keep telling that we will have a product journey. It's not about project, it's about product. So we have already identified a product which I will be talking about. That's the reason why we want to move fast, so that I can cover all the things I am planning to. And it's online. We are doing it, and it has been fantastic experience so far. All our students have given us solid feedback about the experience. We were a little bit skeptical whether online mode will work. People will get confused if they have question, whether we'll be able to answer. All those questions were there when we were handling people from a different country. Handling Indian students is different, but international was different experience for us. With Durga's blessing, we were able to do. But now we are all set. It's like a well-oiled engine which is working seamlessly. So we know we can do it. And
So
yeah.
the way training will work is, so once you are enrolled, you will be invited to Slack, and there will be enough support almost 24/7 with the co-learners and also from the staff of ByteIQ. There are 3-4 folks, and they're pretty decent in providing whatever support that is required. If not, you can escalate to me. I will penalize if it is required. So
Don't be required. I hope in the first batch you don't have any single issue.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And if I have to talk about top highlights, since I did not speak about the team, but the team is also very diverse. The trainer pool is very diverse. All of them have worked in various domains. It's not about just customer analytics. If you go to industry, you find one data scientist who would have spent his entire career in one particular business domain. It could be customer, it could be risk. But if I look at my team, it's a combination of multiple domains. We have people who have done data science in cybersecurity. It's a very rare field where analytics or data science has been used extensively, but we have people who have not only worked in data science in cybersecurity, but have conceptualized data science products in cybersecurity. So that experience we are getting to the table. We have people who have worked in audit analytics. Again, a very rare field. Customer sales, these are known field where analytics have already made a huge noise and companies have seen benefits. But audit, cybersecurity, procurement, technology, these are the areas where analytics have not made its presence so much felt. But I'm blessed to have a team who have worked in this kind of platform. So they are coming to and teaching students. So they are sharing all those examples. So that way our program is completely different from rest of the programs which I can see in the market. Okay, and we have people in our training talent pool who already have US patents, granted patents. We are not just talking about IP, patent, trademark, copyrights. We already have it. So it's something which is a reality. And we have people, the trainer pool are from top-notch institutes in India, have got significant experience from big corporations like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, BofA, KPMG. Okay, and since I spoke about product development as part of this training, so obviously at the end we intend to file for some IP, because this is a new product which we have conceptualized, which we are going to offer to various. Already we have extended to some of our marketing partners on the corporate side. So so basically you are working on a product which is an intellectual property of ByteIQ. Okay, and beyond training, we have a framework through which we keep our students engaged. I will talk about it. Byte Mentors and Byte Citizen is something which we promote within our students community. I'm moving to the next slide. So this is the journey which you can have with us. A workshop is like the first stage. Then if you sign up for the training, obviously that will be a nice training for 4 months with high quality material, high quality teachers, the deliveries of high quality. So, and at the end you work on a product which is going to be an IP, so that you are able to sell your profile better in the market. So after step 2, people typically ask, what next? If I'm done with training, I'm done with product development, how do I keep my learning on? So that's where we came out with the concept of Byte Mentor, where we want to engage our students in future batches. So in future batch, we'll have separate set of people, we will have separate set of projects, assignments, and all those things, where we need someone from our previous batch to come forward and help us. And that is what we have been doing currently. So we want some of our students to get selected as Byte Mentor and keep working with us. That way, that learning is not stopping. If training has stopped, doesn't mean learning will stop. So they get the experience of another product development. They work with students, they conduct some classes, they take care of some assignments. That way they are constantly learning. And then the fourth one is Byte Citizen, where we want these guys to help us to make our program much broader and bigger. So if tomorrow we are planning to launch a data science and cybersecurity, we want these guys to work with us to build that program for us. If you are launching a program in audit analytics, we want these guys to work with us. You won't believe the Next Orbit as a product which we have recently launched in the market for school kids. We have taken help of our students from one of the batches to build those products. So we want to keep guys engaged with us as much as possible. And our theory is, if a person wants to be associated with us, he can be for as long as he wants. Because as part of our other engagements where we are supporting various companies in terms of the data innovation exercises, some product development we are doing, you won't believe we are also looking at various open source data from various regulators and trying to come out with products. So there also we engage our students. So if someone wants to learn, we have all the doors open. Okay, so Durga, I see some questions, I think, in the window. Do you want me to take that, or Durga, you there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm talking on mute. So how many slides we have further?
We have this entire training schedule we have.
Yeah, so let's complete it and then we will take those questions.
Okay. So this, I think I want to cover. Let's move to the other slide. This is about what are some of the major skills which a data scientist should have. Coding, data skills, math, statistics. Math statistics will cover all the ML, time series forecast, all those things. The visualization is all about how will you tell a story to the business, which business can relate to. And then innovation. This is something which we bring to the table. Nobody talks about innovation in any kind of data science engagement or program. So we are the first one to talk about data innovation, and we want our students also to talk about data innovation when they go back to their workplace. Okay, so moving on. So this is the overall training schedule. We have coverage of almost all the things which are of significance in the data science space. We are starting with Python, then we have a good amount of time we are spending on statistics, covering both basic and advanced. Then we have overview of ML, then we move to linear regression, logistic regression. So all the basic machine learning models, which are basic, but at the same time, these are the fundamental models which a data scientist should be well aware of, should be well skilled with. Otherwise, graduating to next level will be difficult. So sometimes people don't realize the power of these models, but these are highly important. And then other set of models like random forest, naive bayes, knn, support vector machine. And then at some point of time, we want to just take a pause and check what has been the experience or journey so far, any clarification and all those things. And then it will be about, this section is mostly around all the advanced machine learning models and time series forecast. Okay, so we have recommendation engine. We are dedicating 2 classes for some of the popular models in the industry, because the industry is so dynamic. Every now and then we see open source community contributing new models. Okay, which those models are making job of data scientists much easier. So we want to cover some of those models also, like CatBoost, XGBoost, and then we want to spend good amount of time in time series forecast. It's very critical in our day-to-day life. I think this is one of the most widely used data. People don't realize that they are dealing with time series data. Okay, yesterday we were doing the session with the previous batch, and it was on time series. So when we started talking about time series data and what kind of analysis are possible, then they started to realize, oh, every now and then I'm using time series data, but I never thought that I'm using time series data, or I never thought that, yeah, some of these analysis are possible. So they can see easy or immediate application of what they are learning in time series on the data which they have access to. Then we have text analytics, then advanced text analytics, NLP, all those things. Then we have section around hyperparameter tuning, cross-validation, how to improve the performance of the model, all those things. A full cycle model development, where we will take a data set and run through a bunch of important models and see which model is the right fit for the data set which we have received. So they get end-to-end experience students get. Then we have a section around model production readiness, AutoML, then introduction to deep learning and AI, and then we will move to visualization. Tableau will be the tool, and then we have dedicated 3 sessions for data innovation. I think I've been talking about data innovation framework. There's entity lifecycle management, the concept of entity, how to discover entity, what is entity 360. So all those intellectual property of ByteIQ we are going to share in this session in a condensed form, because overall program, data innovation program, is for 40 hours. So we are trying to condense it and cover it in 3 sessions, where also we are going to cover intellectual property rights. What's the significance of IP? Why IP is important when you are building a product, data science product? What is the significance of IP there? So all those things we'll cover. And then we will have a discussion around the data science product, which you guys are going to build at the end of the program. And post week 20, we will have 4 to 6 weeks of data science product development effort, which you guys will be working on. Any question? This slide is important because I think all of you might be looking forward to what exactly we are going to cover in this program. So
yeah, so let's take few prior questions which are not related to this. We will take the questions related to this in a moment. So Mahesh from YouTube have asked, how do they train models with very less data? Even if they do, how accurate that model would serve in production?
Okay, so model with less data, obviously model performance will not be that great, but you have to understand how much data is available. If it's a new process and enough data has not been generated, then what can you do? Okay, you don't have option. You have little amount of data, but still, if you want to build model, you can go for it. Model may not be that stable, accuracy may not be that great, it could be little biased also. But if business wants some model to be there, then you have to do it. There is no other excuse. But you can prevent such models from developing in the first phase. First, wait for data to be generated.
Yeah, so to answer that question, probably if you don't do the sampling, then if you have to if the failure rate is like 30% or 40%, by doing sampling and but you can decrease the failure rate considerably. So that's why we have to do some sampling and reduce the probability of the failure of the model. If you don't do sampling and if you directly go with the production data, the cost of failure is significantly high, and you might not even be able to deliver anything in time. So you have to take those things into consideration before you come up with a strategy about the implementation. So that is to answer the question from YouTube. Then there is a question about audit analytics and Azure ML Studio. So Kushal is asking about what is the audit analytics. Please put some light on it.
Okay, so internal audit is a department within every organization, and they take care of the operational risk. They're like the last line of defense in any organization. So first line of defense is the process owner. Second line of defense is risk management team and compliance, and last line of defense is audit. So they are in charge of monitoring.
So I think we should not get into too many details. What Ari is saying, Kushal, is audit analytics can be one of the use case. Like it can be HR, it can be sales, it can be audit. So that's what it is. There's nothing specialized role as audit analytics. If you are a data scientist for the organization, if audit team want to take care of certain, if they want to get certain insights, then we have to work with them as data scientists and get the insights using that audit data. That's where that audit.
Durga, there is slight difference because audit is an independent body, so they cannot give their work to any third part and anyone outside the organization. So typically they build their own data science team. Okay. So and these guys, if I have to take,
when you say audit, when they say they build their own data science team, you mean audit department itself, or?
Yes. Audit will have its own. They are the last line of defense and they are independent. And in most of the organization, they report into board of directors. They don't report into CEO. Okay, so that they are completely fair in their decision making. So that's why they cannot afford to have data scientists outside. Okay, so in audit, if I take a simple example, if auditors are doing T&E audit, travel and entertainment, where employees are traveling to various places because of official need, and they spend money during their travel, and they come back and submit all those invoices in the company system. Now, as audit team, they have to monitor whether people are not doing any fraudulent activities. So that, but there is a lot of data here. If in the traditional world, they used to randomly pick some sample records from the T&E system and then validate whether the amount spent is within the limit. Amount spent is cannot be considered as, let's say, if somebody has entertained a client during the trip, it should not be considered as bribe. So in traditional approach, it used to be very in a sampling way they used to do. With data analytics coming to the picture, they have started using this the entire data. Instead of sample, they use the entire population, and we apply machine learning models. We apply time series analytics to understand whether anything interesting is there or any fraudulent transaction is there, which can be brought out, and investigation can happen fast and action can be initiated.
Yeah, so from the data scientist perspective, it is one of the use cases. Whether it is a separate team within the organization, sometimes for external audits, probably the core IT team itself will provide the reports. For internal audit, to report to board of directors, probably there could be some other team. And then there is one question from Sanjay. He's asking about he actually, yeah, will the data science services be open source or any cloud based like Azure, etc.? So with respect to the training, they are going to use Colab of Google, and that is the main platform they are going to use for the demo. It is free, and they will walk you through with respect to the details related to Colab so that you are comfortable. And that's where that's how it goes. So if you are Sanjay, you can elaborate if your question is something else, but the training is platform agnostic, and it is generic, and the environment which you will be using is Colab.
So technology is not important. It's more about acquiring the data science and innovation skills. Technology can change over time, but if your skills are good, you know everything with respect to data science, you can do on any platform.
So there is a question from Mohammed: will there be one-on-one mentoring, or is it at the group level? So there is no one-on-one mentoring. All the sessions are live. Everyone will be part of the live sessions. Someone have asked the question about the duration. Can you elaborate on that duration?
Duration,
of each
it's
class.
Yeah. So it's each class will be for 3 hours. So total it is coming to 20 weeks. So 40 classes. 40 into 3 equal to 120 hours. So this is only about the training, and then there will be a product development, which where casing will be around 30 to 50 hours more.
And on top of it, they will be supporting through the week. If you have any issues, if you run into any issues, you will be invited to a Slack channel, and as part of this Slack channel, they will be supporting you. So beyond 120 hours also, you will get enough support. And also there are some of the topic, of the curriculum topics, such as data warehousing concepts, etc.
So we have that at the bottom, like Excel for data science. People who want to come for Excel for data science session, they can, where we show how to build a small data science app purely out of Excel. Then we have big data session, we have data quality, RDBMS. Depends on how many people are showing interest, we can do those sessions. And also we try to get industry experts to come and share their experience of data science, what they look for when they are hiring a data scientist from the market. So yeah, all those things we are doing.
So that is about the support from Mohammed.
And that one-on-one, I think, even though we don't announce it openly or publicly, but we have been doing it. So whoever needs some one-on-one session with our trainers or with me, they have reached out to us directly, and we have done it. But we don't openly say that with everyone will do. Whoever needs, we can.
Yeah, and then Madhu have asked. Okay, so the classes, it all depends upon your preference. We have circulated a form, and as part of the form, we have explicitly asked. I think 60% of the folks are asking for the weekends, and 40% are preferring the weekdays. If you have enough crowd, we will do both also. So we are expecting at least 12 to 15 people in each batch. So if we have enough crowd, we will take care both on weekdays as well as weekends. But as of now, based on the preferences of the individuals, it is primarily weekends.
Yeah. Can we move? I thought of covering this one.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. Can you go back to the previous slide? So what are we going to conduct as a free workshop before we enroll? Have you included here or not?
No, we will announce that for people who are interested.
Yeah, you can move forward.
So this is the product which we want to develop with the batch. This is around suppliers. I think most of you might have some idea about suppliers. So suppliers are those people or those companies which provide product and service.
Sorry to interrupt you. Srikanth is asking the cost of the course. It is 50,000 rupees for Indians who are living in India. For all the other countries or Indians living abroad, it is $800. And we will have some early bird discount that we'll announce after the workshop, which we are going to conduct within a week or two. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so suppliers are those companies or guys who supply product and services to a particular company so that the company can create its final product. Okay, and it's a very key area for any organization, because in big organizations you may have lakhs of 100,000 plus suppliers. In a lot of scenarios we have seen that kind of supplier base. Now what we have conceptualized is how do we build a data science platform on top of all the suppliers data which we can bring together using our entity framework, so that organization is able to see some interesting trends, patterns, and insights from the suppliers data, which will help them to either make more money, or save cost, or manage risk better, or finally they could use the data for a better quality of service. Okay, so one of the examples I can talk about is, it's actually a big platform which we want to build. One of the example is, let's say I will take the supplier RDI. So this is a concept which we have come out with. The RDI is relationship depth index. Now, if I have, as a company, I have thousands and thousands, if 50,000 suppliers are there, I'm a big company, I have 50,000 plus suppliers. How do I know who are the suppliers with whom I have engaged my relationship significantly in last 1 year? So it's not about the absolute number of transactions, or it's not about the absolute amount of transaction. Okay, point in time, it's okay. It's a big transaction, or it's a lot of transactions we did. But engagement is about how the relationship has fared over a period of time. So if I used to have, let's say, 10 transaction at the beginning of the year, now I'm having 100 transactions, that's like deepening. If I used to have $100 of transactions at the beginning, and now I am having $5,000 transaction, overall transaction amount, then that's deepening. At the beginning of the year, I used to have just one or two goods which I was sourcing from that supplier. Now I am sourcing, let's say, 10 different unique products and services from the supplier. That is deepening. So we came out with a concept. How do we look at all these interesting parameters with respect to a particular supplier and merge them together to come out with one index which will tell me how engaged I am with suppliers, okay, on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10. So now if you have question in your mind, how does it help? If I know, how does it help? This has got important implication for the portfolio, because when you sign a deal with a supplier, you have very less visibility. Okay, you may have a visibility that I would be doing, let's say, $100 to $200 of transaction with the supplier, and I am going to source one or two raw materials from this guy. But in last 1 year, what has happened is, from $200, it has actually gone to $5,000. From 2 products, it has gone to 10 products. Now you are in a position where you can go back to the supplier with all this nice story around the engagement and tell them that, see, this is how my relationship has evolved over a period of time, and I seriously feel that the discount which was offered at the beginning of the engagement is no more valid, or it doesn't make sense. You gave me, let's say, 1%, 2% discount. I want that to be 2.5 or 3% discount, because I'm giving you so much of business. And with this storytelling, no supplier can say that, no, I will not give. Even they can see how the engagement, they may not have a view of that. So that's where supplier RDI comes into picture. Okay, now think of another interesting scenario. That's a scenario testing platform, Key Supplier. Now, in the banking world, what happens is, every bank after 2008 financial crisis have to go through stress testing, where each bank has to be tested whether they can survive extreme situation or not. If they have to survive, what all arsenals they need in their armory to survive those, or what if they are unable to, or if they take a hit, how much will be the hit, what will be the impact on the customer. So all those testings are happening. Now, if I bring the same concept to the suppliers world, a company ideally should know if a key supplier is moving out because of any reason. You may not have control on various events. The supplier could be charged with some fraudulent billing practices. Because of that, the compliance and audit department decides that we have to come out of this relationship. No way we can extend the relationship. So in those kind of scenarios, you don't know what will be the real impact. So the platform with what we are conceptualizing should give us the ability to test all those extreme scenarios. If some of my key suppliers are out of the game, then can I survive? How much will be the impact on my business? Whether my supply chain will be disturbed, to what extent it will be disturbed. So all those analytics we can perform in this kind of product. So this is what we are envisioning to build with the current batch, the batch we are trying to form. So yeah, this is I think this would have given a flavor of data innovation. So whatever I'm talking about, suppliers here are all data innovation. It's not like something is already there. some supplier teams are doing this kind of analytics. I'm just trying to bring into our product. These are the ideas. You can go and talk to some people who are in procurement space. You talk about these ideas, you will realize that these ideas are not there at all. Nobody has such things. So we want to build this as a product. So moving forward, what are the top achievements from this program? Obviously, you are going to get a skill which is highly in demand in the market. You are going to get certified. You have got materials which you can review anytime, so that your knowledge is up to date. And this is like lifetime access. You are going to get to materials. We'll be working on a product with an IP, so that you can always go and market about your contribution to that product. Gives you a lot of limelight. And obviously, you will be part of a network. You will join a network of data scientists, so that way you are leveraging the network to move up in your data science journey. Moving fast, this is the highlight of our 2020 batches. We are currently doing in, actually it should be 3 countries. Recently we got students from Finland, and currently we are doing, or we have done sessions in 16 different cities. People from 15 different companies have been part of our training sessions. And the highlight of our experience, or the program, I feel, is the 10 years is the average experience of our students, which I feel really proud of. And so far we have filed 1 IP from one of the products which one of the batches is working on. And if I have to look at the top companies where our students are working: Oracle, NetApp, Ericsson, Deloitte. Okay, and next to it we have the experience distribution for the batch. I think this is the feedback ratings which we have received. I think it's on a scale of 1 to 5. So on all the aspects we have got highly encouraging feedback. So that gave me the confidence, and that gave Durga the confidence to reach out to his network to see if more people would be interested in availing this kind of training. And
one of the unique feature of this training is you can also bring your datasets in your company, and you can evaluate with the team to see if you can actually add any value to your company. However, you have to take care of the confidentiality aspects of it. So if you want to do one-on-one with Arya or anyone in his team member, if you have to share some insights with which need not be completely private, and at the same time which might not be completely public. So they are pretty open with those aspects, and you can actually work closely with the team. They will be glad to provide some inputs, and then you can take it further. So that is one of the key and unique feature of this training program. And a couple of folks, I guess, have brought some data like that and evaluated with the team.
Yes.
Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we have data innovation session. In that session, we will not only be talking about the frameworks like NTD 360, NTD Lifecycle Management, but we expect students to come forward with a data set. Obviously, they have to anonymize the data and bring to us. And we will take the same data set through the data innovation framework and show them what are some of the interesting analysis which can be performed on the data. And we expect students to go back to their workplace and try it out, because they have access to that data. So you guys are lucky because you already are in a role in a companies where you are accessing some data. So if you bring that data, I'm not saying the real data, but in some form, if you can bring, or you can just come with a structure that the data which I have has got this data structure. Can we do something different? Then we can help you with doing the innovation so that you can go back and do it. So in our previous batches, people have come forward with HR data. I forgot the use case, but somebody reached out to me with what can we do with HR data which he has access to. And I think I don't recall now exactly, but it was around, so we proposed some solution around how you can optimize your hiring efforts. So now they are getting resumes. They have he told me that he has access to the resumes which have come to the organization, and then the resumes which got selected, and the resumes which got rejected. So that way we thought that, okay, there are 2 classes of resumes in your database, one selected and one rejected. So now can we build a predictive model by looking at various aspects of all the candidates or various features or data parameters of the candidates, so that the model can tell in future whenever a resume is hitting your system, immediately it will tell whether this resume should be considered for next round or not. So I think we shared a couple of more ideas. I don't recall now, but yeah, that is something which we offer to our students.
Yeah. So there is another question from Srikanth. Do we get job assistance after completing the program with respect to senior professionals who are working in other stream of technology?
Job assistance, I think if you are already working in your company and you have done this certification and you have acquired the skills, it's not about certification, it's more about acquiring the skills, right skills. I think if you have acquired all the right skills from data science perspective and you are thinking differently, you are really a data innovator after the program, I think you can go back to your workplace and apply for the jobs which are getting posted in data science space. I'm pretty sure in all companies there is a huge demand for data scientists, for which they are going out to market to source candidates. So if you are already there and if you are able to display or demo some of your work products, because you are constantly doing innovation on the data, you are applying data science tools and techniques on your data. If you're building that portfolio of work products as a data scientist, then you can go to the hiring manager and propose your candidature and you show what you have done. Obviously, you will be different because you will have innovation angle with you and you are inside the organization. The probability of you getting selected will be much higher than someone from the street.
And one more thing which I want to highlight is ByteIQ have good industry connect. At this time, we can't reveal the client names and also the background of ARIA completely. That's why we are not getting into those details. But they are pretty, especially ARIA have very good industry connect, and he's helping some of the companies to build the data science teams for them. So definitely, if you are appropriate candidate and if you are also looking out for the job, he can connect.
Yeah. So if it is just about pushing your resume, definitely we can do. That's not a big deal. The most important thing is how good you are at the end of the program for a data science role, which is on offer. If you are really good, then your resume can be posted easily.
Can you go back yeah, you were talking about certification. Madhu is asking about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the template of the certification we are issuing in association with ITVersity. So yeah, certification is good. It's good to have on your resume so that people consider you as a person who has been trained in data science tools and techniques. The expectation or the minimum expectation is that the person is well aware of various data science tools and technologies. But the ultimate decision making will happen only when you talk to the interviewer. Okay, so that is where your skill, your application of skill will come to the picture. Okay, so I think that's pretty much what we wanted to. And then there are some, yeah. I just put some one slide on the progress report which we share with our students just to make them aware of how much they are contributing. We have an activity index to tell how well they're contributing to the classes, how much participation they're showing, they're submitting assignments on time or not. Okay, attendance, assignment, and participation in class. All those factors we take into consideration to come out with activity index. So this way, at least students are are aware of how they are moving forward in this journey. And then we also provide the student skill metrics so that they are tracking their knowledge level on each of the skills which they're going to acquire from this program, so that they know what they have acquired so far and what they need to and how they need to graduate to the next level. So maybe in round one they would have acquired basics of all. Maybe after in second round they may feel that yeah, some of these I need to move to the intermediate or advanced stage. It all depends on how much time the person is spending. Some people we have seen from our batches, some people by the time they ended the program, on a lot of skills they were on at the intermediate level. But our initial expectation was or our initial expectation is when you come out of the program, at least your basics should be in green minimum. That is the minimum expectation, but you should strive to get to the intermediate level in as many skills as possible, so that once you start working on product development and once you start working in your corporate job with data, then you can start to become advanced in some of the skills. So this we maintain, and this is the data innovation thing which I was talking about. This is our framework which we offer to the company, and we talk about every organization's data rich, information poor, and intelligent start. So this is where we come and help organizations. So we have our own 8-phased approach which we use, and this is like our building block of data innovation. So all these things we are covering in the data innovation section in a condensed form. I think that's pretty much, Durga, from my side. We can take few more questions if I know we have exceeded by 20 minutes.
There is a question from Srikanth. I am pursuing master degree in data science engineering peer program. Taking this program would be help. Mostly topics which are mentioned were covered in our academic. Could you suggest me? So if the things are already covered, so we have a special discount for students. We will talk about that once we are done with the workshop. So we will take, or you can also ping me personally. We will be circulating, or we will be inviting you to the WhatsApp group where Arya and I will be there. So we can discuss more on it, how much value it will add to you, and all those things. We'll be very transparent with you because more than money, you will also be investing time, right? So 120 hours is a pretty big time. So for students, we have discount. We always give a good amount of discount for students. And also, even from money wise, it might not be very expensive, but still you are putting 120 hours, and you should be able to make most use of it. So we'll talk about it. Okay. We will discuss these things offline, Srikanth. Any other question before we wrap up for today? So what is the follow-up? So after this session, we will add you guys to WhatsApp group. You can follow up with the questions, and also the video is available on YouTube. So anytime if you have any questions, if you want to refer, you can go back and watch the video and come back with the questions. We'll have another session next week. If you are interested, or if you join a bit late, and if you are interested, you can join that meeting also, and you can ask questions directly again as part of that meeting. And then we'll have a workshop. We will decide on the curriculum of the workshop so that you see the quality of the training before you start enrolling. Then we'll open up for the enrollments. So ITVersity will be charging money from you guys, and we will work between us. So in case if there are any concerns in between, from ITVersity perspective, I will make sure that things are flown seamlessly between the students and the ByteIQ. So ITVersity have good amount of credibility, so we will try to maintain that. And if there are any serious concerns, we can discuss and we can sort out those concerns once, even after enrolling, after putting so much of effort. As of now, I haven't heard any negative feedback from anyone, but still things might change in future, right? So for that reason, I'll be there to support you on your behalf and work with ByteIQ to address your concerns. Whatever is the commitment, it will be honored. That being said, thank you, and stay connected, and then we'll take it further. Thank you, Arya, for the session.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.